3 best snowboarding terrain parks in the good old USA. Let's get down to it. Access Media Snowboard. Subscribe, like, share. Let's go to it. What is number 3, Brad J., on that massive list of the top 3 terrain parks? Well, not so massive, but what is it? Park City Mountain Resort coming in at number 3 on your top 3 best snowboard terrain parks in the USA. Why number 3? It's going to be interesting to find out who number 2 and number 1 is, but let's cover just a little bit, shall we? Okay, so we talk about Park City. 6 parks. One thing I do like about Park City in their terrain parks is they do go from beginners to intermediate to advanced. What does that differ from other places? There'll be other terrain parks that will just go from beginner to intermediate, but Park City gives you that opportunity to step up and go to the next level. And that's awesome. It's not awesome. And if you think about it, they are part of a program called SMART, right? SMART, or Park SMART, it's called. And it goes like this. There's an acronym. It's start small, make a plan, always look, respect, and take it easy. SMART, SMART. Start small, make a plan, always look, respect, and take it easy. And you know what? And that stuff that is, and you may say that's just basic park stuff, right? It's not basic park stuff because a lot of yahoos don't know the proper etiquette going into park, like lining up at the bottom of a landing of a jump, being in the way, or landing at the bottom of a feature and where people can't see you. That's the stuff that needs to be taught. And I love the fact that we see a lot more and more of these parks doing just that and instituting the Park Smart program. And you'll look at a lot of them. All 3 of these that I'm going to mention, all are part of the Park Smart. And I mean, come on. How many times you just see some little kid just picking his nose, just not paying attention, and then all of a sudden you're in the air and you land on him, right? So that needs to not happen. So Park City comes into number 3. Also like I said, part of the Park Smart program, 7,300 skiable acres. And if you're looking for a lift ticket, it's anywhere from $288 to $310. I've covered that before. So there you go on that. But my recommendation is if you're looking for terrain park fun and you can avoid the weekend, boy, most of these resorts, you really don't want to be there on the Saturday and Sunday. I mean, they do a good job, but the lines can get pretty long. So Park City Mountain Resort coming in at that number 3 spot as far as terrain parks. And I like that. 6 parks. Okay, we'll go. Coming in at number 2. What is number 2? Shall we show you? Breckenridge. Breckenridge checking in the terrain park 3. And they go beginner to intermediate. Now, there was a time that Breckenridge was doing a ton of events back in the day. We were doing dew tours out there. We were doing all kinds of events. We were doing World Cups over there. And then it went to a point where they did some remodeling where they built Ski One Hill and they did all this work. And then they stopped really having major competitions. They will have some comps from time to time, but they don't have as many as they were doing back in the day. So I feel like that's a little bit lost in it, but there again, you can see the beginner to intermediate, okay? So 3 parks, you're covering Breckenridge, and they are part of the Park Smart program, the 5-point summary. Remember, S, start small. M, make a plan. A, always look, always check, right? Respect. R. Some of you young people don't have that. No, get some respect out there, and take it easy. Don't try and do it all. It's always kind of a learning process. Do the small hits first, work your way up, and don't hit it for the first time without taking a look at it. Never a good idea. So Breckenridge comes in at the number 2 spot with 2,908 skiable acres. What's the price? $100 when you buy a multi-day pass. So if you pre-buy a multi-day pass at Breck, you can get a ticket for $100. So that's the number right there. And Breck's awesome. I've done a few events at Breck's. I've always had a good time out there. And once again, I'm not a fan of it on a Saturday or a Sunday, but you make your own pick on that. But the parks, 3 parks, beginner to intermediate. Breckenridge checks in the number 2 spot, okay? The number 1 spot, the number 1 best snowboard terrain park in the USA. Feel pretty good about this one. Happens to be a local mountain that I've grown up riding since I was a little kid. And we are talking about none other than Mammoth Mountain. Give it up. Dave McCoy, he's staring down at from heaven, and he is proud to see Mammoth Mountain take the #1 title, the best snowboard terrain park in the U.S. And you go, Brad J., but you're kind of biased. So I'm doing the video. Make your own video. And then you can make whatever you want to be #1. But look, let me make the case in point, right? Let me make the case in point for Mammoth. You start seeing a lot more guys and girls coming out of Mammoth with very heavy skills. And we see a lot of representation on the U.S. Hydro Flask snowboard team. You see a lot of them, the locals coming from Mammoth. So a lot of talent. That's a big hotbed of talent coming out of Mammoth. And why? Well, for one, they got the big pipe. For two, they have a full pro-style World Cup Slopestyle course as well. And then they have all the other courses out there too as well. South Park, one of my favorites. It's kind of hidden a little bit. But if you're looking for a very fun terrain park and you want to get out there and you want to go have some fun and crush some laps in the terrain park, well, guess what? They got 10 to choose from. Yes, your #1 mountain for snowboarding terrain parks, Mammoth Mountain, 10 different parks, 100+ jibs. That's more jibs than your grandma's backyard. 40 jumps, 100 acres of terrain, and they even claim 80 some odd features is what they claim too as well. And you got to like it because even on the worst weather at Mammoth, right, the park is low enough that that's always going to be somewhat rideable even in some stormy conditions too as well. So you're looking at 3,500 skiable acres. There's some hike stuff there too as well. And then if you're looking at the price, well, now Mammoth is about, if you walk up to Mammoth to go buy a ticket and you just go right up to the ticket window and you go buy a ticket, you're looking about $200, right? You're looking about $200. But if you do an advanced online buy, you can get tickets lower than $100 for Mammoth. So if you want to ride, which I know you do, one of the best snowboard terrain parks in the USA, which would be Mammoth Mountain, well, there you go. Get your ticket in advance, save a little money, save some chump change. $89, you can get that, right? And also, they are part of the Park Smart program, too. So Mammoth in the #1 spot, Breckenridge checking in #2, and Park City checking in #3. Those are your top 3 terrain parks in the USA. Congratulations to all of them. They win absolutely nothing from me, but attaboys and attagirls. Good job on you. Go visit Mammoth, go visit Breck, and go visit Park City. That's going to do it. Access Media Snowboard. Subscribe, like, and share. I'm Brad J., and I'll see you on the hill.